The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game Junkie, Gerard Campbell.
From stuff.co.nz, you can find him on Twitter as well, Game Junkie NZ. There he is over there at the headquarters of Stuff in Christchurch City. Hello to you, Gerard.
Headquarters of Stuff. Thank you very much. You're my staff of one.
Yeah, yeah. And you've I noticed you've been doing some spring cleaning around the office as well. Completely blank wall. All the gaming posters for 2010 are down. I guess.
They are.
Yeah, I suppose looking forward to another year in gaming and then refreshing that wall once again with a whole lot of new titles.
Well, yes, because it's been a good year this year, but it's it's fairly quiet release now. I think the only probably main release that we've got coming out for the rest of the year is, and I think you're looking forward to this, Wammo, is probably Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam,
which is
which
out.
I think is it out now or is it tomorrow?
Well, it's out on PC.
Out on PC.
Xbox tomorrow our time, so about the 21st in the States.
Excellent. Yes, I was watching a trailer of that this morning with that classic tracks Fortunate Son. I think that they always seem to play with
Credence
Vietnam clips. But yeah, that's because Battlefield 2 is one of your best games of the year. I think one of your favourites of the year was
definitely my top game. It's the sort of game where you go off and play other games, but you always come back to the Battlefield. It just seems to have that continuity and that and the fact that other people are always in there in the gaming rooms on the multiplayer means that it's universal. Everyone around the world loves it.
I think that's a sign of a good game too. That you can play it for a bit, then put it down, and then come back to it. And I think that's there's been a few of those that like I've done, still making my way through sort of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which has got a huge world, and Mass Effect 2, have another crack of that on PC and that sort of thing. So it's been a solid year. But looking ahead to next year. Well,
they have already announced a Battlefield Bad Company 3 on the way next year.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
seems to be next year too. We've got a lot more sequels. This year we had a lot of sequels this year, and next year we've got more sequels, We've got things like Killzone 3, and we've got Resistance 3 for the PS3, you've got Mass Effect 3 coming out later next year, probably sort of November-ish. You've got Uncharted 3 for PS3, you've got Dead Space 2, you've got Portal 2, and you've got Gears of War 3 probably on the Xbox 360. And there seems to be a lot more shooter sort of revitalization for next year. We talked about a game earlier this year called Bulletstorm, which seems to be it's a more humorous take on the first person shooting. If you get a bad guy, you can shoot him once, and then the blast will kick him into the air, and then you shoot him again, and you get extra points and extra this and extra that. There's things like Deus Ex Human Revolution, which looks like it's going to be a really, really good title, because Deus Ex was some really classic games that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be another busy year next year, and I think gamers are going to have to sort of check the state of their wallet throughout the year.
Forza 4.
Forza 4, yes, and there's going to be Kinect compatibility with that as well, I understand.
I wonder how that's going to work, because I saw that an article about that as well, but it didn't really explain exactly how that would work. Apparently maybe a combination of using the controller but also the Kinect sensor as well, or it's an either or, use the controller or the Kinect thing. But I just don't know about holding my hands in front of me without actually holding a steering wheel.
No, well, because of course you don't want to take away, for Forza, you don't want to take away the, because I think you've probably played the Kinect Joyride, and that essentially was, you did the steering, and the game controlled the braking and the accelerating for you.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And you don't want that in Forza, you don't want that. So I'm wondering whether, like you said, they'll have a combination of controller, and I wonder whether the Kinect might be used for, you could use it to look around your cabin or your cockpit, or, look around, turn your head, because Gran Turismo 5 has got head tracking capabilities, and as well using the PSI camera, which they use that to sort of so you can look around the.
But how would that work if you're physically in the real world turning your head away from the screen, so therefore you're not actually looking at what?
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Would be showing.
So I'm not sure how it's going to work, because of course at the moment, on games with the controller, if you want to have a look to your left or your right of your car, you flick one of the analog sticks and it sort of gives you your view. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting whether it's going to be integrated, I think, into the driving experience, whether it's just going to be integrated. Maybe there might be a showroom mode or something, where you can virtually look through cars and showrooms and those things. So I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting. I mean, I certainly think, and I think too, over the next year we'll see things like the PlayStation Move and the Kinect, actually really take strides, because developers will have got to grips with how to program for them, how to make the most out of them. And I think next year we'll start seeing some really solid titles. And I'm still interested to see with the Kinect how it will handle, action adventures or weather, eventually. And I think I've said this earlier. I think that there will come to the stage that it will be. I think there probably will be some sort of controller come out for it, because I think it's going to be essential if they want to do shooters or action games.
Yeah, staying with the Kinect, I saw an article yesterday that said that the Kinect sensor is actually capable of a higher resolution and capturing a lot more than what it currently is, and it all would require is a firmware update.
Yes.
But the reason why they've kept the resolution that it can capture so low is because the Microsoft engineers were concerned that other people had been using their USB ports for other things as well, and so if you had a whole bunch of stuff plugged into your Xbox, it wouldn't be able to cope with the high resolution of the Kinect sensor. But there is perhaps a workaround that they're working on that.
Yes.
And if it could capture at higher resolutions, it would be able to detect individual fingers as opposed to whole hands, and also turning like that. Turning your hand as opposed to moving your hand.
Yes, I read the same thing, because I think at the moment the cameras, I think it's at a resolution of about 320 by something, but I think they talk about the firmware update might even take it up to like 640 by whatever.
Yeah.
So I think there's plenty of untapped potential there. Something like Kinect, and imagine the possibility of being able for it to actually register individual movements of fingers and slight twists of your wrists. And also because of course having a high resolution means that it's going to pick up your movements a lot better. From time to time we still have issues where it won't, I guess depending with the light situation or having other people, but it's still from time to time it won't pick up accurately. Waving in front of it. So I think upping that resolution is really going to improve that. And I think we'll see that over the next year. I think that these things will take jumps and leaps and bounds, and we'll suddenly start seeing true potential of these things coming out. So I think it's going to be another busy year.
What about so that's the consoles and sort of the PC sort of taken care of. What about mobile gaming? Where do you think we're going to see that heading over the next year?
I think mobile. I think mobile quality wise and graphic wise. There was a title just came out for the iDevices called Infinity Blade, which came from company called Cheer, which was the same company that produced Shadow Complex on the Xbox 360, and they've done a game called Infinity Blade, which is gorgeous. It's using the Unreal 3 engine. So you're getting console-like graphics on an iDevice, and it's a very on rails game. You can't wander around the castles that you're going through. In combat, swipe and parry and block, and you tap things to move. But I think that graphically, mobile devices are going to get more immersive. And I think at the moment that the iDevices are leading that. It'd be good to see. I'd like to see Windows Phone 7 and Android catch up to what the iDevices have done on. Because I don't think you can deny that. Whatever you think about Apple, that certainly their App Store is leading the way in terms of content. But I think that we're going to see, mobile devices, especially things like Android and Windows Phone 7 and Apple, actually become, you're going to start getting graphic capabilities on par with what the PSP can do and what the PS2 did and that sort of thing. So, they're going to take huge leaps this year, and I think that, and things like what I like with the Windows Phone 7 is that, you've got that connectivity with your Xbox Live account, and that's really that's really blurring that line between my home console and my Xbox Live account. So it's merging the two together, and I think that's where we want to go. We want to try and, rather than have separate platforms from the same companies, we've got interoperability between Xbox Live and your Windows Phone, and it'd be interesting what Sony do, because they're talking about the phone coming out, whether that's going to have connectivity with PlayStation Network and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think mobile devices are going to really, really kick up next year. And plus, because of course with mobile we've got the Nintendo 3DS coming out next year too, which is their 3D handheld device without the need for the 3D glasses. So that's another exciting sort of advance.
How many Angry Birds sequels are we going to see in 2011?
They've just done a Christmas one now, haven't they? Have they done?
They've done Angry Birds Seasons. I mean, that would have to be the most successful mobile game over the past year. I mean, it's just gone huge, and it's gone into the real world with all the franchising of the stuffed toys, birthday cakes.
Make a movie? Do you think they'll make a movie?
Well, there, apparently that is planned in the works as well. There could be a movie or some kind of cartoon series for the Angry Birds. And I heard that one of the sequels will involve the revenge of the pigs. So you control the pigs taking their revenge on the birds. So
the pigs will love that, won't they? But you're right. I mean, there's some of those little mobile games that are incredibly simplistic, to start with. But they've got that addictive factor that we'll have one more go, and Angry Birds is one of those. It's proved incredibly popular, and it's on because it's on Android now. It'd be interesting to see how many other platforms it starts appearing on.
Yeah,
and also, I mean, the same thing was of course with Plants vs Zombies. That was a similar sort of thing. Started out on PC and then suddenly it's gone to iDevices, and then next thing I think. I might be wrong, but I'm sure there's going to be, an Xbox Live version or a console version coming. So, you're getting this. It's going back to that the lines are now blurred between, just having a console and just having a mobile device. They're actually starting to. You're getting cross-platform action going on, and I think that's going to happen next year. I think it's just going to, that line is going to blur even further between what is actually a gaming device and what isn't,
And what will you be doing over the holiday period? Will you be taking a break from gaming at all?
Yes, I will. Yes, gaming is we're sort of doing a bit of camping and boating and stuff over the summer holidays, so there won't be summer holidays a chance to get away from consoles for a couple of weeks and just
but not the mobile device.
And, we'll keep the mobile device. Goodness me. And the laptop, we'll keep that. But, consoles a break for a couple of weeks and then refresh the batteries and recharge the batteries and kick back into it next year.
Well, Gerard, we thanks so much for all your work here on the Radio Wammo show for 2010, keeping us informed in the latest games and giving us your thoughts and telling us what is great and what is not. We really appreciate that, and we hope to continue into 2011.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Wammo, and been fun from start, so we'll continue next year, which will be crack into it next year.
Great, we'll see you in 2011. Thanks, Gerard.
Will do. No problem. See ya.